Welcome to Deadlift, one of the core 4 exercises in the dense strength method. Now the deadlift is your strongest lift in the gym. It's the heaviest load you will ever lift in the gym, and it quite often gets a bad rap. I'm going to show you how to lift efficiently and safely and create a really good connection to the deadlift by understanding how. And again, I think the misunderstanding about the deadlift is just incorrect technique on how to actually perform the lift. And let's talk about the very first thing that you want to do with a deadlift. You want to get yourself in a good stance, grip, and position. And you want to take the slack out of the barbell before pulling it from the floor. So people, when they pull the bar on the deadlift, will be just get themselves, just pull from the floor without getting themselves set. What I want you to understand is that you are actually holding the bar, and just like the back squat, where I said to make the bar part of you by pulling it down on you, the deadlift is just an extension of you. But I want you to connect with it by taking the slack out of the barbell. So what does that look like? When I address the bar with my feet right below my hips, let me just come back to this. I like to actually get to a fielding in the outfield position first, which I use with all of my clients for many, many years, and I do myself. Now, from here, I can just address the bar with my hands over it, right? So I'm not going to pull the bar from this position. I want you to hear this. As I'm rocking back, I'm upwardly pulling on the bar and connecting. That's the steel connecting with the plate. And that's actually, when I do that, when I sink, rock back, and take the slack out of the barbell, I'm actually engaging my hips and my back. And essentially I'm like tightening the screw. I'm winding myself up, ready to shoot the target. And that's the analogy, the best analogy that I can probably give you, is that you want to get yourself locked in. You want to get yourself prepared for the lift. And then from there, I want you to think about just pushing the ground away with your feet. So let me show you how that looks. So I'm going to go here. I'm not going to lock a breath. I'm going to talk you through this. So I'm just going to rock back. And now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to push the ground away hard, aggressively opening my knee and hip joint. The bar slides down my thighs, knees, hips, to my knees, back to the floor. Engage, drive up, hinge, and down. So that's a technique that you'll use when you're doing deadlifts. Now, there's 2 different types of lifts when you're doing dense strength, 1, 3, 5s, and 10s. Now, the 1s and the 3s are what we call dead stop deadlifts, where I'm going to reset on the floor. Well, the 1 you're going to reset, it's just 1 rep. So let me show you that first. So this is a dead stop deadlift. From a dead stop position, I'm locked in, breath, down, 1 rep. Now, the 3 rep on the deadlift in the dense strength method can be done 2 ways. You can do it touch and go, or you can do it dead stop. I would prefer dead stop deadlifts. It just trains strength endurance, strength capacity, because you're repeating every minute on the minute. And I'll show you what that looks like. A dead stop deadlift is this. So the dead stop deadlift is one where you are resetting on the floor. Now I'm not letting my breath out. At the top, I'm actually only letting in my breath out and resetting on the floor. I'm also, when I address the bar, it's going to be, I'm going to screw my elbows back into my hip pocket by engaging my lats. And I like to almost think like my arms are long and loose like ropes. My lats are engaged. And then when I stand up, I'm aggressively opening up my knee and my hip joint and flexing my quads and squeezing my ass. Boom! Straight up. I'm going to hinge down to the floor, and then when I stand up, boom! I'm going to stand up aggressively. It's so important to focus on. The deadlift is a lower body pull, but quite often people pull with their upper body. there's no pull with the upper body whatsoever. It's an isometric hold with the upper body. Once you've got yourself set and the slack has been taken out of that barbell, you're rocking and rolling and ready to go. And I want you to stand up and squeeze your glutes, lock your quads. So dead stop on the 1s and the 3s. There's no touch and go. Now, when we go to 5 and 10 rep, it's strength, stamina, just like the other lifts. So with the press, we were doing dead stop on the 1s and 3s, just like the deadlift. Now for the 5s and the 10s, they're just shifting gears. We're now going to get ourselves set, take the slack out of the bar. And let me show you. So the difference there is that I'm taking a locked breath and I'm exhaling and then inhaling while I'm standing to load and hinge and touch the ground and stand back up again. Now this is a game changer for touch and go work, or just for when we're doing dense strength 5s and 10s, where it is stamina, strength, stamina, endurance. It's metabolic. The dead stops just don't work with the 5s and the 10s. So a touch and go, you don't have to bang the bar on the ground. I actually would advise not doing that, a light kiss. But you definitely want to use the ground as your friend. As you get closer, it's touch and draw. So let's talk about the 5s as well in regard to not racing through it. So I'll show you a 5 where I'm going to pause for a second on the 4th or the 5th rep and take an extra breath. So that delay of the completion of the set just allows you to stay away from the edge. Okay, just stay away from that fatigue place, rushing too fast. The key component of dense is to make the first 5 sets easy for the brain. Let's talk about the 10 rep, which is an absolute monster, just like the back squat, just like the strict press, just like the bench press. The dense strength method, 10 rep, is the bee's knees, the piece de resistance in strength, stamina, endurance. And let me tell you, my heart rate when I've been doing dense 10s has been 80 to 95% max capacity. You are cooking with gas. So to that point, hold that close to your heart when you are preparing for your loading, is always to go light first of all. When you haven't done 10s before, get yourself, get it in the bank. Complete your 10 block, make it really light, and just have slight increments every time you complete your 10s. So you build confidence and you also build strength and strength endurance. So let's show you the 10. So there I did 8 and then did a pause at the top and just didn't rush through to finish. Now the sets for the 10s should be done within 15 to 20 seconds. Is a real golden nugget and a good time zone to complete your 10 reps. Now that's going to extend as you get fatigued, but you're banking the fatigue. And the key component here is not to race through those first few sets without a pause, because if you're producing too much power, you can't sustain that on the back end, and you're not going to feel it on the first 5. You're not going to feel it on the first 6. It's on those back end 7, 8, 9, 10 where it's like, oh, it's game time. So hopefully that helps on the deadlift. It's a phenomenal lift, but it has to be done well, and you must take the slack out of the bar every time, rock back, and get yourself braced before pulling from the floor, and you'll live safe and you'll live strong and you'll have a great experience deadlifting, dense strength method, deadlift Rock and roll.